Okay, so today's session is all about Claude, and people have talked about Claude this and Claude that, and OpenClaw, which was based on Claude, but now is owned by OpenAI. And I want to show everyone in our group what I've been able to do with Claude and why I think for the short term we should probably switch from using ChatGPT to Claude, which I'm not one of those where I want to keep switching all the time, but I think there's enough that it's worth what we're doing. So let me show you, for example. When we are in ChatGPT, for example, let's say I'm using the ChatGPT Atlas browser using agent mode. You can act with me in the agent. So we can see that every Thursday we have a new marketing mechanic episode, which you can see one just dropped a couple hours ago. The real secret behind AI marketing for contractors. And Dylan wrote a description and he included a link to our audit, which is fine. But this may or may not have been repurposed into a podcast. So what I could do, and what I've done thousands of times now, is I'd go to ChatGPT and say, you can see here that our latest Thursday Marketing Mechanic episode dropped, and I want you to check whether we have repurposed it into a blog post, because we always take videos and repurpose it into blog posts according to the content factory process that we teach, because anyone, whether they're a local service business owner or an AI apprentice, they have Zoom calls, they have meetings, all of those are real proof that we want to amplify. We want to strengthen that signal, and thus we know that AI is not to generate stuff, but to really clarify and amplify and strengthen the concentration level of what we have. And that's even ironically what this whole video is about. So check if we've done that, and it might be on Blitz Metrics or Local Service Spotlight or High Rise Influence. Check for the other marketing mechanic videos that are there. Think hard. And if there's no article, go ahead and repurpose this into an article. If you need a transcript, let me know. So whether I do that here in ChatGPT in agent mode, which I have to turn on, or I could reason with it and then turn on agent mode, which makes a minor difference. But if I put in agent mode that it knows that this is what I'm going to do, this is my intent, then it goes off to work as it normally has done. And I'm going to show you where the shortfall is, and I'm going to do the same thing inside Chrome. So inside Chrome, with the extension here, the Claude for Chrome extension, it is creating Chrome tab groups, which are these colored bars, where each of these groups is basically a project and it's working together. So I have the same video here. Now I'm going to test it by going to Claude. I'm going to say the same thing here. These robots might even compete against each other. We'll see. Maybe it finds one, the other one's writing the blog post, and it'll say it's already there. But now we're creating a head-to-head test to see what it's able to do. So with Claude, I'm on the Max 20X plan, which is the biggest individual plan you can get. And you can see it's doing something very similar where it's trying to understand the context. The difference with Claude is that instead of reading the screen like you and I could, it's taking screenshots. So you can see it's reading it, it's taking a screenshot, it's scrolling, it's doing these different actions. The model that I chose is 4.6, which is maybe twice as expensive as Sonnet 4.6. You can think of it as like their pro version versus their regular one. And then I'm putting into the act without asking, because otherwise it keeps asking all the time. And you'll see that it has a pretty good understanding of what the marketing mechanic is. And it looks at the other YouTube videos and it's looking for these other articles. Not bad. And meanwhile, let's see ChatGPT, which had a minor head start. And it said, check to see if it's got a blog post. Okay. And I noticed other episodes. Yep, like I said, they're there. I know there's 27 of them there. Okay. Great, but it didn't take action. Okay, well, can you write a blog post for this latest episode, just like we have done it for the other marketing mechanic episodes? Because obviously every week we want to do another episode and then link between them because there's a lot of shared context. I repeat and reference back to a lot of the same concepts. So it does some work, but then it sort of gets lazy. And so you have to keep prodding it. So now it's going to go back and look at it and then decide, okay, would you like to write a blog post? Yeah, I told you write a blog post, right? And then we'll go on and it'll promise me, and it'll tell me it's done and it's not done or whatnot, right? Because it's the reason why is they're just out of compute. There's just too many users on the system. They just can't keep up. I mean, I think OpenAI's models are smarter, but it's just too hard. There's too many. They have 80% market share. They cannot. I mean, they committed to 1.4 trillion dollars of hardware against 20 billion of revenue, which is a math that doesn't work out. But they do need that level of hardware to meet the demand. But the trouble is they don't have the hardware because they don't have the electricity and they don't have, there's all these things. So they are like feeding everybody a couple bites of rice at the buffet, and that's all you get. It's a buffet, but you only get a couple bites of rice at a time. And you can see here that this one is continuing to work. It keeps going. It's thinking about it. It's more thoughtful. It's more diligent. And this might change too. We might see Claude ends up getting lazy because they just can't keep up. They can't build enough power plants, get enough chips, get enough oomph working, enough inference to be able to do the things that we want to do. But I did a whole bunch of testing yesterday. And if you look at what I've done, because I don't talk about theory, we talk about what actually is real. You can see I hit the limit yesterday. You have a 5-hour session limit, and then you have a weekly limit. So I've used 25% of my weekly limit. So I'm going to run out. But then if you hit the limit and you want to keep going, they have this thing called extra usage. And I even spent $50 just yesterday of extra usage, which is scary. I put a $500 monthly limit on it because it's got the auto reload every time it goes down, add another however much, $15, $20. But if you look at this cost, the way I've been using it, it will probably be, I mean, I'm on an individual plan. This is the max plan at $200 a month. If I'm adding an extra $50 of extra usage, then, I mean, that's $2,500 of extra usage on top of $200. But if I look at how much work is being done, it's well worth it. I mean, it's easily worth 10 times that because a bunch of stuff we've been chasing for months and months and months, which has cost us a lot of money and a lot of missed potential, a lot of client projects not getting done. I mean, it's worth it. So worth it. Okay. So here is their article. ChatGPT wrote this article. It still looks like it's written. Didn't write the blog post. I mean, it sort of wrote the blog post, but didn't post it. And it's a weak blog post. It doesn't even say anything about. Clearly, it claimed to have read the blog or watched the video. It did not read the video because, yeah, it didn't. It's just making shit up. Let's go look at Claude. What has Claude done? Got so many tab groups open. Okay. It's already been repurposed. There it is, episode 26. No, it's already there. It's published today because I already found it. Okay, let's see here. Okay, cross-posted. That's a good idea. So it doesn't have the little microphone thing here, so you can press caps lock, or you can use your microphone button. I think the microphone button does a better job than caps lock. Let me show you caps lock. I'll press caps lock as the default for dictation. Hey, that's a great idea. Let's repurpose it to local service spotlight and make sure that for the blog post that is already there in Blitzmetrics and the new one you're about to do on local service spotlight that it meets our article guidelines, which you can look up what our article guidelines are. Okay. In fact, what I'll do is I'm just gonna, rather than, because I've got the actual Claude app running too, I'm just gonna do it in here because here's the Claude app. Here's all the stuff that's going on here. So I'm going to show you something really cool here. Look, this has been working for 12 hours. Okay. I'll cover that in a minute. This is something new. Okay, so you can see there's an article here, but ChatGPT didn't find it because it was lazy. So let's say, but wait, isn't there already an article or not? Check out this URL and let me know. And say, oh, sorry, you're right. It actually is there. And then it works a little bit. It'll think a little bit and then just get lazy. It'll work like for a few seconds and then just give up, as you see. Versus over here, it will keep going, right? And yeah, this is the episode 26 that just launched this morning. I can also cron it up, meaning I can schedule it and have it just look for things so I don't have to tell it every time. Okay. So, and it leads to this, includes, yeah, it does. You're right. Then why did you tell me you couldn't find an article? Did I understand correctly? You couldn't find it? Oh no, there is one. Okay, my bad. It's already been repurposed. My bad. I'm not paying attention. So I'm going to skip on that one. Okay, let's go back to Chrome. Now, the downside of this thing here is that three things. One is that it works by taking screenshots. So if there's a big document, it'll take lots and lots of screenshots along the way, which is slow. And number two is it constantly asks for permission. And I changed this to ask without asking. Of course, it says high risk. Of course, it says this whole Claude for Chrome thing is in beta, crashes on you all the time. There's all kinds of issues. You can see that people shit all over this thing here. Look at these reviews. They all say the same thing. It's just doing screenshots. It's really slow. It goes in circles for a while because it keeps asking you, do you approve reading this website? Yes, I do. Sometimes it'll allow you to say, okay, approve the whole site, but usually it doesn't. If you look at the settings where show you where's the one? The account. Forgot where it is. Here it is. So I tried to say allow it to read all domains because it's always afraid of being tricked, but it keeps asking all the time, especially in like these Google Docs files. So I've had to press, yes, you can read this Google Doc. Yes, you can read it. I mean, it's 320 pages, 330 pages. I had to keep pressing yes, 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 like a pigeon hundreds of times, which drove me nuts, but I got it done. And then it'll go to a website and say, oh, would you like to look at this website? Well, yeah, I already told you. And it'll keep asking over and over again. I'm sure they'll fix it at some point. And then number three is that, which is the limit of all LLMs, it will keep the context window it just fills up the context window really fast. I think there's 250,000 tokens in the context window. And every conversation you have references back to the entire thread, the entire conversation you've had. Even if you say, hey, make this one small improvement now towards the end of a conversation, it has to reprocess everything you've already said in the whole conversation. So that's why all the LLMs say try to start new threads if you can, unless you need the existing conversation context. Okay, let's go back to blog post here. I'm in Chrome, so I'm using these Chrome groups. So we're back in Claude. And I asked it to audit itself, which is, I think, really key. Most people never do that. They ask me to audit it for them, which is crazy because they think that I'm the LLM. I don't even do as good of a job. Okay, so it's okay. Now I'll create the local service spotlight one. It's not bad. It can embed, it takes screenshots and include them, which is not bad. Okay, this is pretty good. Okay. If you have a transcript of the video, for some reason, Grok can pull the transcript using the YouTube API, or maybe that's a skill, but Google can't, even though Google owns YouTube. Wild. Can't do it. I tried using, I went into our Google account and used the YouTube Data V3 API to pull from YouTube, but I didn't like how it was working because I was using OpenClaw to do it, and it would keep erroring out. Okay, so I gave it the content, I gave it the transcript. Now it can go ahead and build those blog posts. So it's building this inside a tab group. So you can see all these things here are in a tab group. This is the whole repurposing one. If I click on that, all these tabs, it's using all these tabs to support this one project. So you can see each of these, like this one here on our high-rise influence, it basically tuned our page. You can see the page for our AI apprentice program has all these people. If I go to, we list all these successful AI apprentices, and it's good, but I said there's also some other folks that I'd like you to add. Add George Palatichuk. And and it did. And make sure each of these guys has a page here that shows how the whole thing works. And it did a pretty good job. It made it better and better. And it to do that, it had to, I said, well, the page you have on Dylan is kind of plain. It just has text. So it went in here and it started grabbing photos inside the Google Photos because you can see it came in here and it searched for Dylan. I didn't search this. It searched for Dylan. It was grabbing pictures. It was inserting it into the blog posts, which is great. Easy repurposing. I think it's awesome. I was never able to get ChatGPT to do that. I wanted to do that for Matthew. And in this thread, I said, go look at all the stuff. And if I come here, I'll just approve this plan. I take my True Niagen and they offered me $15 for a gift card to answer their survey. And you can see they said, I did your survey. And they said, yep, you know, well, let's see, where is it? You will receive the gift card 3 days after February 10th. Well, it is February 19th and it is well past February 13th. And I said, can you confirm I'm getting one? I put a boomerang on it. And they said, yep, you'll be getting the gift card. February 3rd, they said that. Boomerang. That way I don't lose track. Hey, I don't think I've gotten it 9 days ago. Boomerang came back. I replied, question mark. They didn't reply. Boomerang again, question mark. This morning, hey, Dennis, thanks for contacting you. We're not really clear about what you're looking for. He's like, are you kidding? This whole thread is about where's my $15, right? So then I could just have the agent chase it down. So the agent is replying to them saying, well, because if it were me, I'd say, you promised me the $15. Read this thread. But it's taking screenshots along the way. It's going through this. I'm using 4.6, which is overkill. So this will probably cost me like 50 cents instead of like 25 cents or so, depending on how many tokens we're using. I think it's like $2 or $3 per million tokens input and like $20 output. There's the whole price list on these things. But anyway, it's going to do the thing. And let me show you what this is the big thing I was working on yesterday. I think I put it inside the gym shake. Oops, gym shaker update. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna show you two big things I did yesterday that we can all do now that just cuts through all the delay and nonsense. So for a long time, I've said, Matthew's got all these high-powered interviews. Anyone's got a podcast. This is what we're doing for you. The Escape Your Limits podcast, 364 episodes. And these are high-powered people. Actually, some of them are duplicates. Like I've been on there 3 times. The Lifts podcast, which is a relatively new one, 200 episodes. So in total, there are 600 podcasts, the YouTubes. And you can see they're here. These YouTubes. Or where is it? This one. There's all these videos here, okay? Tons and tons of interviews with high-powered people, easy repurposing. Escape Fitness is a high domain powered site, so it actually works. Real EEAT. I mean, this is people that are well known, all the stuff you want, exactly what we want. And so Claude was able to inventory this and create a plan, figure out which of these episodes are the most powerful, given our goal now with Gym Shaker is to sell these vending machines inside the gym where you can have these protein shakes that it makes according to your flavor, kind of not quite like the Coca-Cola, you can pick a million different flavors. But how do we sell this new thing? And I said, go do it. And it said, okay, batch one, we're going to do these ones, which are the most popular ones. And then batch two. And last night I had it work and it did. It started doing this. And I said, okay, this is fantastic. How much effort? And it said it's about 150 hours to 200 hours of work. So that's fantastic. Go do it. So it's been working here. And instead of just stopping like ChatGPT does, it kept working, which is great. And then it crashed this morning because whatever, the browser thing crashed. So I said, it crashed this morning. Why don't you keep going? Okay, well, here's what I've done so far. And here's these other things. Continue doing all this stuff? Yes. And now it's going to go back in here and continue to work and continue to write good blog posts. I check these blog posts it's writing, they're good. Not these ones where it's, and then of course, are you sure you want to do this? Here's the plan. Yeah. And I almost always say yes. I mean, you could read this, publish these ones, and then once it's done, then it'll just go through the next one until all 600 of these are done. I wish it would just run through all 600 at once, and there is a way to do that, and it tells you how using different API calls within WordPress, so it doesn't have to keep reading the screen, taking screenshots every single time, but I just haven't gotten to that. I mean, I probably should turn it into a tool, and then just anyone can talk to, we can just name it whatever we want to name it and just use it, use that agent. But you can see this is miles, miles, miles ahead of what we had before. Another one, so this is something that I've been trying to do for the last 10 years for him. And only now, as of last night, was I able, I tried to get other people to do it, they wouldn't do it, and we went round and round, and I chased people. They'd ignore it, just like the True Niagen people, they were ignoring it. See how long it's taking for these guys, for people complain that this Opus is, or whatever, Claude is so slow. Because I could have replied already saying, hey, read this thread. You didn't send me my $15, right? But it's just slow because it's taking screenshots and it's thinking, and it's being methodical. You need to change it to ask. Every time I have to say act, change it to the act without asking. I'll show you another one. So we have another book we've been trying to get out for a year now, How to Get a Knowledge Panel. And you can see in this thread, which has probably got multiple continuation threads. This has gone on and yeah, this has gone on and on and on and on and on, even in 2024. That's 2 years ago. We're in 2026 now. We've been trying to get this book done, and it's gone on and on and on. And I even got the chapters done. I took it to 90% done and then gave us a document to just finish out. It's like a softball. It's like bumper bowling. You can't throw a gutter ball. So it goes on and on and on and on and on. And it just doesn't seem to happen. And I'm giving encouragement, saying like, okay, let's do it. Let's do it. Here's some, and so I'm doing QA here. Look, I'm saying like, well, here's some things to fix. This, like, why are you naming chapter 1A, 1B? Just obvious editorial stuff. It doesn't require high-level marketing expertise to be able to do this. And then we brought in someone else. So usually when you bring in more people, it slows it down even more because now you have this too many cooks in the kitchen. And so, yes, some work gets done. This is October. So this is 5 months ago. Like, okay, added some stuff in, improved it. Okay, great. But then it's like, here's some feedback. It goes on and on. I come in and chase the thing. Let's do it. Hey, let's do it. Let's do it. Come on, the cover is not there. Come on, October, November, December. Come on, let's do it. Let's do it. Okay, I made some changes. Good, good, good. Well, come on, let's do it. Right? All right, let's do it. So close, January. So this is now 3 weeks ago. Okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Okay, good. Let's do it. And then finally, so this is February 4th. This is 2 weeks ago. The last update this thread to get this book out. And so it's not to pick on anyone. This is just, in general, we all intend to get stuff done, but we don't do it for whatever reason. Now we can just get it done immediately. So 2 weeks ago, okay, I made these changes. Okay, well, let's get it done. I already looked at it and it's incomplete. So I said yesterday, I had Claude do a review. And here's what Claude said, which is excellent. It looked at what was good and what wasn't so good. And now I can go back into Claude And I can say, just go ahead and implement these things. Obviously, you need to know what this is and you have to read it, which I did. If you understand the stuff here, because the context I gave it was I said, we've gotten a lot of knowledge panels implemented for friends of ours, and those aren't making it into the book and they're not making it to the website. But I've created a lot of videos. I've done a lot of stuff here in office hours. I've got a lot of emails. I've put them here in this thread. I've sent them over to be included. I've copied the team every time. Hey, here's another knowledge panel. Look, they were so happy. Look at what they had to say. And just for, as you know, it's just like it's like this one, right? It's like this one. Where is it? Hey, where is it? Chase them, because I understand there's lots of reasons every time why people can't get the thing done. I'm not here to argue their reasons or whether they're valid or not or how difficult life is. Like I totally agree, but we just want to get stuff done, right? And it's, oh, well, you work too hard and yeah, but it's been months now. Okay. Like, okay, yeah, the thing happened, whatever the thing was happened last week, and this other thing happened the week before that. So you get a pass on each of those every time, but let's get this thing done. So here, where's the one I had open? Okay, so I got the book open and now it's ready to do all this stuff, right? So I'm just gonna say, go ahead and implement because I already reviewed what it said and we already had a plan that we talked about, and here it is. I think I have it as a, I'm just gonna copy it this way, whatever, I can be lazy here. There. Now it's going to go to work. And because it has the follow through that ChatGPT doesn't, it will actually do a decent job. And if it gets stuck, it'll let me know. If it costs me more credits, okay, so that dinging means it needs access or needs approval from me. Okay. No. I do not want you to include all the editorial kind of footnotes and remarks inside the book itself. That is not what a reader should see. A reader shouldn't be hearing about how we're formatting things and whatnot. That's for us internally. So make the book something that a reader, meaning the contractor or the AI apprentice, can appreciate, not our internal team members that are working on the book. All right. See, so you have to give it some instruction along the way. And then it does the work. It's great. And meanwhile, it's burning tokens and all that, which is fine, but it has the proper context. We have a plan around it. And it actually can read this 330-page document because that's well within the 250,000 token context window. Yeah, remove this. Well, see, look at what it did here in the beginning. I told it not to. See, it's not perfect, right? Here's what it did. It said, well, this document is the restructure of this and that, and so here's how we're doing it. This blueprint was created by Claude with Dennis's direction. Like, no, 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 no. So then, but of course it'll learn, it'll fix it. So now it's going to go and make all these changes. And then when this book is basically almost done, I'm going to then come back over here and reply. Like, I know we've been going on for 2 years now, but I just went ahead and did it. Who should be listed as authors? Who's actually contributed to this thing, right? And so that'll be done. All these things just can be done. Here's what I want everyone to realize. The stuff that you want to do, you can just have it be done, right? Look, here's what we did. We did this. Okay. Many more. Would you like me to tackle any of those next? Yeah. Why don't you go 10 more podcasts at a time and just keep going 10 at a time? Finally. And it follows our article guidelines. But then I'll ask it, go back, QA your stuff, make sure those articles are good, follow our article guidelines. You have to remind it every time. Yes, you could upload it as a skill in Claude, which is called an MD file, a markdown file, but for various reasons, that doesn't really work because it keeps forgetting. It runs out of context. It just keeps forgetting what we're talking about. Okay. Yeah, approved. See, so that's great. That one's working. This one is working, right? You can see it's working, the orange. I did like the ChatGPT sparkly dots, but the fact that this orange thing, the Claude thing is working is pretty cool. This one had an error, so this happens all the time. Oh, the image is too big. Okay, fine. I'll paste in the screenshot and it can use my screenshot. Let's see what else here. This repurpose video. Okay, it's got the transcript. Now I am doing context switching. I'm jumping back and forth between lots of projects, which is not ideal for the human, but unfortunately, to manage the robot, you have to be a manager. Okay, here's how I'd make this better. Okay, all right. Wait, that's episode 25? I thought it was 26. Oh, it is 25. Okay. Why'd I get the idea of 26? Yeah, this is what I said. Yeah, misspelled the name, misspelled the name, not correct. But it's just going on the transcript, so it's probably wrong in the transcript, but okay. Okay, that's not bad. All right. Wow, that's good. Still need the screenshots, which you can take the screenshots. See? Yep, I can do that. All right. Yeah, I think that's all good. Smart idea on grabbing screenshots from these whiteboard videos, because the whole point of the whiteboard video is the diagrams and how they're connected and my explanation of how these pieces fit. That's why when VAs just try to grab the transcript, they miss the whole context because I'm sketching something out and explaining it. They have just the words I'm saying. It's like watching a basketball game and not seeing the plays actually occurring. So yes, grab the screenshots as it relates to what I'm talking about and make sure you understand what's in those diagrams. So what you say makes sense with the screenshot that you've taken. And then once this one's done, do that for all the other whiteboard videos that I've made here. But let's start with this one first. Also make sure that these people's names are spelled correctly. You'll notice I reference the same AI apprentices and Lighthouse clients over and over again in our articles and videos. So you should know who they are and be able to spell them correctly. And link to them too. Okay. Act without asking. Here it is. And now it's going to work. So this is going to work. This other one is still working. Look at this. I saw this just an hour ago. An ad, because I've clicked on some HVAC marketing agency nonsense. Hey, maximum exposure in AI search. So this is some AI guy, right? It's AI for sure. It says HVAC contractor. This guy. Protect your HVAC business, written by AI. You can see this anytime you see emojis like this. Real Michael Fox. Probably not real. Michael J. Fox? Doesn't Michael J. Fox have Parkinson's, the whole Back to the Future? Okay. When someone asks ChatGPT, who's the best HVAC guy? Does your business get, hey, don't miss out on AI. You need to be there in AI and make sure AI recommends you. Okay. So I click on their link, like, okay. If I'm an AI guy, is AI ignoring your business? Okay, so this guy's peddling AI. AI, AI, AI. I can help you show up in AI, which is bullshit. I made a whole YouTube video about that. So I go to their site and here's download this guide on how to show up in AI. And okay, let's look at your stats, bro. Well, oh shoot, it crashed. Reload the extension. What's going on here? Maybe I have too many things going on, or probably because it's beta. Okay, so AI this and AI that. And guess what? They rank on nothing. Nothing, 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 nothing. Not even any links, nothing. Then this peddler of rank in AI, guess what? Do they rank on anything in AI? No, they don't. Nothing. Gemini, ChatGPT, oh, they rank in nothing. Nothing. No traffic. No organic traffic. They have ad traffic. Isn't that hilarious? This is the obese person trying to give weight loss advice. And so I took a screenshot of it. It said, this peddler of AI visibility ranks on no terms themselves. Use any SEO tool and you can find it out yourself. And then I told, before this thing just crashed, I told it, make it a blog post. It's hilarious. Take the screenshot and then look at their ad and then make it a blog post. So it's starting to do that, as you see, which is great. And so I've gotten a couple hundred of these done in the last day or so, just from messing around. I notice something and then I say, do this, and it gets it done, and it's not bad. And you can see that I've been using the browser plugin to get this done.
Hey Dennis, I had
Camel
a
is a note taker.
question for you.
Yeah, question, sure.
So now that you're using Claude, is this your primary agent that you're going to be using, or is Atlas still a strong
The thing is,
system
I
for you?
love and I hate both of them.
Yeah,
And I'm not one of those where every time something gets leapfrogged, because every week there's something that gets better than the previous thing that you're using. And the thing is, all else equal, I love to switch to whatever's better, but there's a certain cost of switching, like being the idiots that change lanes. Those idiots that change lanes every 3 seconds in traffic, and 15 minutes later they're like 3 cars ahead of you after changing lanes too many times. So I want to change lanes only when it's worth it, Bill. And
yeah,
I think I'm thinking yes, because I don't want to just hop at because every 2 weeks or so, these guys all leapfrog each other. And even Elon Musk said, but they're all the same, whether it's Gemini or Anthropic or OpenAI or what, they're all the same. They're because they're using the same fundamental LLMs. I mean, because LLMs are word calculators. That's what they do. They just they
mhm,
appear to be lifelike and all that, but they're really just like animatronic robots. They're not real, right? They don't. No one is bringing anything really new to the table. You could argue that reasoning extended the life of LLMs, but I'm with Elon Musk on a first principles basis, and I think that these are limited because they are not incorporating first principles physics models, and they don't have real access to the real world data. And so, short answer, I think we should all switch to, I don't want to say this, but I think we should all switch to Claude end of this month. And we've been paying a lot of money for ChatGPT, not as much as we would have because I'm the primary user. Because we go in and audit how many tokens people are using. Most of you guys are not using any tokens. Like I know we're paying all this money. It's like paying for lifetime fitness gym memberships, which are expensive. Like, okay, we bought gym memberships for everybody, and then we look and see how many people have actually checked in and how many people are actually using the weights. Like almost nobody.
yeah,
I go in every week or so. I even had our ops person come in and run a report. She didn't even know that you could run a report. I'm like, I run the report myself every week just because I want to see who's using it. How do I know? Because I get a credit card bill for our usage. That's one
right.
of the biggest benefits of being in our AI apprentice program is Uncle Dennis is paying for all the credit usage. And
I
that's
agree.
thousands of dollars a month. So I kind of don't want people to use a ton of credits because it's expensive, but I kind of do want them to use it because it means they're getting work done. So we have a few dozen people in our ChatGPT business account, and only a few people are actually using it. Even though we've had all these trainings, I demonstrated, and I'm not here to complain. I'm just saying this is the reality of where we're at. So switching models, I mean, we could have all kinds of debates about which model's better or whatnot, but for 90% of people, it doesn't matter because you don't even use the models anyway. So who
Right.
cares? We can just waste time debating this and that. Oh, what about Opus 4.6 and then the difference with the context window on Sonnet 4.6 and the tokens cost 40% less and like, yeah, but you're not even using it, bro. I mean, you can see, I've done, you can see my usage, right? So I think what we need to do, and I know I sent out a thing a few months ago saying every month, let's have a thing saying, are you using it? And people click yes. And then I look at their usage and because if they say no, then why are we continuing to pay for all this, which is thousands of dollars, right? So I think maybe what we need to do is say, look, you guys, and I've been thinking about this for months on how to solve this because I want people to use this stuff. Like the whole, like, why would you sign up for this program if you're not going to do the work, right? Or if you need to be chased every week, or you don't submit your reports, and then we got to chase you on where's your report, and then go through the whole excuse cycle and why there's no report. But I'm thinking, well, the big change ish that's happened in the last 3 months is that we can actually equip our agents with skills. So what we tried to do 6 months ago, Jack and I made a video when we were in Florida, is we created these Canvas files, which were sort of chunks of tasks on how we do tasks. And that's pretty good because you can reference it. And I took a step further because I knew that this day was coming. And I said, well, let's take what we know and turn them into articles too, everything we know. And so whether people come through ChatGPT or Gemini or Perplexity or whatever, you could say, according to the article guidelines that Dennis has published, go ahead and repurpose the stuff. According to the Content Factory, use the dollar a day approach to run. And if we have time, I'll show you. I ran a whole bunch of ads this week. Well, I didn't run the ads. I managed the agents as they were optimizing ads. And guess what? It was working really well. It's like having another few people on the team. And I can show that. But anyway, I don't want to go I think you get the idea. Okay. So these tasks and skills, we've turned them into web pages and other derivative documents so that if we want to switch models for whatever, we can use any model that we want because we're not locked into any particular one. We've made it modular so we can, then that's the whole point of the Content Factory, right? These components are modular. So if you want to switch to Claude, you can. I would think that you could come in on their $20 a month plan, which is pro, but if you want to do the stuff I'm doing, you basically have to be on the $100 or $200 a month plan because you're going to run out of credits real quick. If you don't use the thing, then be on the $20 a month plan and it doesn't matter. I might activate the team plan, which costs more, and then all of us, and I've reasoned with the thing. The team plan costs us per license, which is the equivalent of ChatGPT Business. It's $25 a month for the base thing, which gives you a certain bucket of credits, more than ChatGPT gives us, and it's only 25 a month instead of 30. But then there's a pro or not a pro, but whatever, like a higher level user that's $125 a month that gives us 6.25 times more usage credits than a pro model. If pro is 20 and we get 6.25 times that, then it's worth it if you actually use the credits. And then just like with ChatGPT, with Claude, we can buy a pool of tokens. So what I've done is I've pre-bought $10,000, $20,000 of tokens for OpenAI, and I can do that for Claude as well. And so the reason why Claude was able to raise so much money last week, they raised an extra 30 billion on a $300 billion valuation, is because businesses, they get hooked on Claude, they find it works, and it works hard, and it's reliable, like it has the kind of tenacity to see the task through, like you just saw. ChatGPT just gives up real quick. But because it is continuing to work through all this stuff, it costs more money. So yeah, we probably will end up spending a lot more money on Claude than ChatGPT, but it'll be worth it because we're actually getting more work done. So we do an audit or whatever, or we need to rebuild a website, like all this stuff that we need to do, we can just tell it what to do as long as we equip it with these skills. These skills I've been doing myself, turning into MD files, markdown files. So Claude Skills works on MD files. And we can share, I'm still working on them, but maybe by later tonight or tomorrow, I'll have all these markdown files ready for everyone to be able to share if they also want to try out Claude. They can try out the free Claude and they can still use the skills, which are .md files.
Mm.
Because if you guess, why is it important to have these MD files, Bill or Jack? Why wouldn't you just ask Claude to do this and that? Why do we need to have these extra MD files or extra skills?
I think it gives it guidance and just expertise in a lot of ways. Jack's done a lot more with that, but that's from what I understand so far.
Because if you don't tell it how you want to do it, it'll just use whatever the internet says. We don't want that because the internet is incompetent. Look at all the stuff on the internet. All these people are saying things that are nonsense. We want it to do it the way we do it, which is based on facts, based on verified, repeatable experiments, right?
Yeah, it's the same thing as what we're doing with the Canvas documents.
Yeah. It's
Mhm.
and anyone who and it's not like you have to use our Canvas documents, which I've been turning into MD files, but anyone who believes in learn to teach, which is you should only follow someone's recipe if that chef has actually cooked the recipe many times and proven that the recipe works. Got the right ingredients, follow the recipe, use the knives the right way, the oven, then he'll get the filet mignon or whatever it is, right? And so anyone who believes in learn, do, teach, which is you demonstrate that the thing works, then you can share it, and all of us can trust that that was correct. Not because so and so said so, but we can verify. Just the whole point of the scientific method is verification through experimentation, right? Hypothesis through experiment, through theory, through validation. The whole point is validating through data, right? So that's what we're doing here. Everything in our marketing laboratory is we are testing things and seeing if it works or not. And you see today, I wasn't talking theoretically. I was showing you what I actually did. And then not only did I show you what I did, I then went ahead and proceeded to demonstrate live to show that it still works, to show that I could do it again and again. And anyone who believes that idea of practice what you preach, which is learn, do, teach, and then content checklist software, which is document the thing and turn it into Canvas documents, then turn it into MD files, turn them into books and courses, turn them into API calls that trigger on cron jobs that systematize the thing so it then does it automatically over and over again. That's what we believe in. And that has nothing to do with Claude or ChatGPT or like whatever. We could move to whatever model later. Hey, Mr. Dillon, we were talking about you.
Yeah, I've been here pretty much the entire time.
Okay. So you can see that this thing is, well, it crashed, so now I got to reload all this stuff, but it does great work. It's writing the articles, it's doing the repurposing. When you ask it to work in these different groups, the first tab is the one that it's usually working. So if I've got, let's say this one here, this is the one where we're having the chat. And then if it's got, well, actually I'll go over here. Then these other ones, if I try to open the chat, it'll say this tab is working or it's working right now. So what I like to do is where me as a human, where I'm working, these are my tabs over here. And then all these other tabs are for the AI. So each of these, so Chrome has this thing called tab groups. So these are all these things under this one color, under this color, whatever it is. So it is working through these other tabs. Like it's coming in here, it's grabbing photos, then it's updating this stuff here, then we're in. So any one of these things that it's doing, it might open 3 or 4. I didn't open these other tabs. It opened all these tabs. I said, do this one thing. And then it's like, okay, see, it's active in this tab group. So whatever it's trying to do, it might have to do 4 or 5 other tabs to grab information or whatever. And then whatever the one it's working in, maybe it's working inside this one, right? Or maybe it's reading this one, maybe it's working inside this one. It's looking at all this stuff, right? So I think it's pretty cool. So I think we can save a bunch of money in the short run by getting out of ChatGPT, maybe give it to the end of the month. People aren't really using it. So why waste the money? And then if people are actually using it, seeing like I'm using it, you can see I'm using it, see what the limits are, then we'll gladly pay. And then just like with ChatGPT, come in here and pay money for extra credits, which you have to put a credit card in to be able to do that. And then I have the auto reload on, which is great if you do the thing. And therefore, this stuff is like the book. I'll have that done in later today. Even though this thing crashed, now I got to figure out what happened here. But enable to I have to keep enabling. I have to click, yeah. Can you go ahead and finish this? I know this thing crashed. If you need me to reshare the analysis so you know what to do, I can. Let me know if you even have that analysis on what we need to do to fix here. So been showing Claude, but if we go back to ChatGPT, you'll find that it doesn't really do anything. Okay, so anyway, that's that. See what you guys think. Can we get stuff done, right? I've been doing it. I've been teaching it. I've been project managing it. I've been providing one-on-one support for people. And I probably spend 80, 90% of my time providing one-on-one VA support and 10 or 20% of my time doing the work. So what you see here is in the time in between that I'm trying to get work done, which is carrying this whole thing, which is crazy. Like we were like, when I was at Yahoo, people would ask like, why do you have like hundreds of engineers? What are they doing? Do you need that many people to build websites? I'm like, three of us built Yahoo Personals. Two guys built Yahoo Mail. We had Yahoo Photos, the number one photos tool on the internet. We had three people built the whole thing. Yeah, well then why does Shutterstock have hundreds of employees? Why does eBay have thousands of employees? Like how come we built Yahoo Auctions with two engineers? So, well, exactly why? Because anytime you see these teams of people, there's a ton of people and they look good and sound good and whatever. They don't do it. That's why Elon Musk did the Doge thing, right? There's all these people that don't do anything. They're not like bad people, but just they don't do anything. This is so funny because the last thing I'll say is like when you use ChatGPT, it feels like you're talking to Sam Altman because he's saying, "Oh, well, yeah, we're getting it done," or "Yeah, it'll be done next week," or "Oh, for sure, it'll be," and it's lying to you. It's not possible, and you're like, "Oh, what happened?" It makes excuses, and it's like really whatever you want to. I don't want to say it's lying to you, but it basically is. And then you talk to Grok, and it's like talking to Elon Musk because it's based on facts and it's not woke, and it doesn't fall for the misgendering test, right? Would if you misgendered if saving the world from nuclear disaster it required you to misgender Caitlyn Jenner, would you do it? And all the woke ones say, no, you should never misgender. So you should have nuclear war, kill everyone on the planet. And Grok doesn't. So each of these, it's just like each person's kind of like their pet. They look like their pet or act like their pet. The same thing happens with these AI models. And so I want to see us get stuff done. I created several videos explaining where these models are going and why it's working from task level to the worker to the manager to like I drew that out all out several years ago, and this is exactly what's happening. Not because like I'm super smart, but it's like obvious this is the way it will happen. So we have all these relationships, all of us. We can amplify those relationships, amplify their relationships, create a stronger signal while everyone else who's an idiot is generating nonsense. We're tightening the signal, concentrating the signal. Everything I'm showing here is dollar a day, whatever. It's concentrating the existing signal. Repurposing is concentrating the signal. Meanwhile, I'm doing a lot of work. I'm wondering where's everyone else? The other high level entrepreneurs, they're kicking ass. Could be Marco or either the Ethans, like they get back right away. And I know they're busy, but they get back. Tommy Mello gets back right away. So let's step up our game. All right, team, rock on. Repurpose this thing. We'll see you guys.